Welcome back to the Second and Short podcast, where the entire playbook is open. I'm Josiah.
Eli.
And I'm Hayden.
That's
And for
Chris.
those of you, thank you, appreciate that. And for those of you who like to listen to audio only, the link for the Spotify will be in the description below.
You threw him off with the Chris comment.
Yeah, I forgot about
We got the
this.
combine
Spotify.
going. Yeah, it's all right. We're good. Off to a shaky start now, but it's draft season.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we live for.
Yes, sir.
We have the combine on in the background that nobody actually cares about. You'll have a couple viral moments. David Bailey ran a 4.51. I only care about 40s for my running backs, wide receivers, and corners. Let's talk.
You're 4.39 now, right?
Four-
Is that your number?
For corners, I prefer to be a sub 4.4.
Oh,
And longer arms. I want you to be a little bit lengthy, a little lanky guy. But trying to think, was there a lanky guy last year? I think there was on the Seahawks, not a corner but a safety, Nick Manaware. He was the star of the combine last year.
Harrison measured with long arms. He wasn't necessarily lanky, but Harrison had longer arms.
Who?
Maxwell.
Oh,
Harrison.
yeah.
The Bills took
And
him.
4.29 speed.
It was both.
So
We were talking about this earlier. It's like the TV just doesn't do it justice to how freak athletes they just don't look it. It doesn't look impressive on. You're like, Psh, I could do that, and
I mean, it's
just the TV makes them look a little slower than they are, and they're just absolute freaks.
not even speed, but the way they look.
It's
Like
they don't look 6'6". They don't look 6'7".
exactly, like Myles Garrett on a TV compared to Miles. We were sitting in the nosebleeds watching Myles Garrett, and I was like, that is the most physically intimidating guy I have ever seen. Like, he is truly built like a Greek god.
Split an eye.
Eli is talking about Dennis Sutton, the edge rusher, who he did not even like at Penn State, but now since
He
there's
was
a
11,
mini line logo,
33. Who went 33?
Yeah. 11 is LeVar Arrington
That's-
Jr.
who's a backup.
For now.
Yeah. Nepotism runs deep.
Yeah.
LeVar Arrington Jr. is not going to be available in what we're doing today. We love doing redrafts, and we're going to do either a really fun one or a really boring one, depending on your point of view. I'm not doing a great job of selling it. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be redrafting, for sure, the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Maybe the second. We'll see how long the first round takes. And it's kind of fun because, Josie, you and I are going to be doing some other redrafts ahead of the 2026 draft in Pittsburgh. 2025 is interesting because there's still hope for all of these guys. Like, you never know what's going to happen. There could be an undrafted guy that we're not even going to think twice about. That, who knows, he could end up being the best guy out of this draft class.
Yep.
So the highly touted prospects are still the highly touted prospects. You mentioned one that I'm lower on, Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty had a down year. He still probably will and should go in our first round of the redraft, just because the potential's still there. Potential does a lot of work during the draft season. For the 2025 NFL redraft on the Second and Short podcast, that's fair. You're going to see the highly touted prospects still be the highly touted prospects. There will be some differences. Harold Fannin Jr., there were some other guys, Chamir DK. Do we see a special teamer sneak in? Especially if we do the first two rounds, I bet we'd see him in there. So you still have a little bit of variance, but at the same time, the guys that we liked last year are still the guys that we like this year for the most part. So we already did a draft. All 32 teams are spoken for between the three of us. And once again, this is something that we're going to be doing a lot of, both in short form content on TikTok, and then also something tells me and Josie are going to be doing this a lot over the spring. So stay tuned. For now, though. What? Oh, okay. Period. Period. Acting like Cooper. But, yeah, we need some fruitiness. The Titans, they are on the clock. Oh, we're also not doing trades. So Cleveland will have the second pick.
The Rams will still have their pick.
Yes.
And the Atlanta will not get to.
Atlanta's not mortgaging the future for two edge rushers in the first round, and one of them's probably done.
James Pierce actually played pretty well.
Oh, incredible. I would argue I think he was my defensive rookie of the year pick over Schlesinger.
Wow.
It was close, but and then I think Amanda Warre was also there. I think all three of those guys were neck and neck. But that's going to be an interesting one. Does James Pierce go? Because if you go just off of the football, probably should go in the top 10, but does he ever play again? And this is the question. which is just hilarious. Atlanta has not been able to find an edge rusher. I'm getting ahead of myself, though. The Titans are on the clock now. They're not drafting James Pierce, something tells me. Eli is picking for the Titans. Eli, who you got?
Yeah, so I have the first 3 picks, and this wouldn't be my strategy if I was a GM, I guess, to say. It's more of like a redraft idea. I know I always crap on teams for taking quarterbacks early, whereas the first 3 teams need quarterbacks. So Tennessee went back and forth with a couple of guys. I think in a redraft, they're still sticking with their guy in Cam Ward. He was consensus number 1 pick last year. So I'm going to have the Titans sticking with Cam Ward. An up and down year, nothing incredible, but not like the worst year of a first overall pick ever. I'm still not totally bought in on him, but in a redraft, I think the Titans are sticking with their guy in Cam Ward.
I still think it's the correct pick. I know there's still obviously the Jackson Dart debate to be had there, but it's like, for the sake of parity and like conversation, I would love to see him go somewhere else, just because like he's still going to go to Tennessee and the weapons are still going to be terrible.
Brian Callahan's still getting fired in October.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and again, it's like, it's not the wrong pick by any means, but at the same time, it's like, man, like Tennessee's got a lot of work to do still. Not just at the beginning of this draft, like where we sit today.
Right.
Tennessee still has a ton of work to do.
And watching your ex-coach take his team to the Super Bowl, it's tough too.
Yeah, not guy that didn't leave, guy that didn't step away, like you fired him.
Right.
And then
And people knew that he was going to be successful elsewhere. It was a pretty controversial firing.
Yeah, I'm a Jackson Dart guy. He was my number 1 quarterback last year, but like you two, I would also have gone Cam Ward. It's boring, it's not exciting, but despite me liking Jackson Dart more, Cam Ward objectively has the better arm. Mobility might be a little bit of a split with a lean going Dart, but Cam Ward was the quarterback talent last year, and you have to go him for now, just because, like we said, there's not going to be a ton of variance at times. So. Cleveland is on the clock. Eli, who are your Brownies going?
Good segue, Hayden. Here, I think, so I was very frustrated. I was very happy watching the Browns draft last year. I didn't love the Mason Graham pick, but I liked the trade down. I think they got a lot out of that. And then they didn't jump for Shedeur early. And I was like, wow, they might not jump for a quarterback. They've got a good plan. And then they chose Dylan Gabriel early. And then they still chose Shedeur. And it was like, all right, the Browns are going to Browns. It's utterly ridiculous. If you're going to do that, might as well just go quarterback early. So in this one, I've got them taking Jackson Dart with the 2nd overall. Still not a clear favorite here. There was some mental debate with myself, but I think the Browns need a guy that can run around a little bit. It's unfair to look back now because now they have the guy that was the OC for Lamar and Monken, but like, if they're taking him now, I'm not saying he's Lamar-like, but he's more Lamar-like than Tyler Shuck, who's the other guy that would be the debate here if you're going quarterback. So I'm going to go Jackson Dart here, and they're going to take him away from the Giants.
I'm going to keep what you said, Eli, but I'm going to go with Jackson Dart and Kevin Stefanski's offense. I think would be pretty fun. I think that from an arm talent, it's not the strongest arm in the world, but it's stronger than who... I would say it's probably the 2nd strongest out of the 3 main guys Stefanski has worked with, and Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, and I think Dart, you slide him right in there in the middle. He's probably the most athletic of the 3. I think that would be a fun offense. So
yeah, I think so. I think I was originally going to say like, and him, he would still have like a good running back 1 with Quinshon Judkins, but it's like let's be honest, do we think Quinshon Judkins right, to the 2nd round in this draft? Like, and so it's like. You do still have the question of he's not going to have his Cam Scatterboo. He's not going to have he's going to have Jerome Ford as of right now. So we'll see how the rest of
take some other guy, but maybe not a guy that has as good of a year as Quinshon does.
And maybe you still end up with, who is Dylan Sampson? Maybe you still end up with Dylan Sampson, who is serviceable. But
I think so.
Yeah.
There could be a lot of running backs that go in the 1st in this redraft.
I can name at least 4 or 5. So.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It was a good run.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see when that run on them starts to go.
Yeah.
Number 3, though, Eli up again. The New York Giants, they originally picked his guy out of Penn State, Abdul Carter. Travis Hunter still on the board. Mason Graham, Will Hunter, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Ted McMillan. Eli, who are the Giants going this time around?
Yeah, so this is another one that I was kind of So I think the Giants need a quarterback at some point. Again, this is one where I'm like,
If Eli picks 3 quarterbacks,
that's
then
that's why I specifically prefaced. I think in a redraft, if those 2 quarterbacks are gone, one, the Giants are probably trading down because it's like, we wanted one of those quarterbacks. We need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Or they go who we talked about before was probably if there was a legit AP vote of a first team rookie team, it's probably Tyler Shuck is the first overall quarterback. I think the Giants are a far way away. Again, if I was a specific GM, I'm trading down here, or I'm going to try to build my front. But I think the Giants are going with Tyler Shuck here. I'm going to go with 3 straight quarterbacks. I think just like in the NFL, we see quarterbacks get reached for. I think redrafts, we're going to see it in redrafts as
Clean
well.
out the pool, man.
I think that the Giants, they need a quarterback. They're not going to be able to get a quarterback in the first round because this is their only pick. There's no trades. So they better get theirs while the getting's there. And I'm going to go with 3 straight quarterbacks to start the draft and Shuck.
Say hopefully you
I
don't have a
respect
team-
it.
Yeah, hopefully you don't have a team that needs a quarterback because your next pick's like Brady Cook or Max Brosmer.
should
And that's
repeat
why
that
the Giants
back.
are going quarterback.
Unbelievable. I don't know. According to you,
Now
Will
or never.
Howard's going in the top 10 in this redraft. So
Listen,
after
potential.
0 preseason or
Potential,
regular
man.
season snaps.
you're lucky I don't pick for the Steelers in the first round.
Yeah, most of the time, I let you or Christian when he's here be the Yinzer. I wanted the Steelers this time around. So
So
wow,
I'll take them for the mock.
yeah, 3 quarterbacks in a row. Tyler Shuck, I was very vocal about last year, and I was wrong. When I did the video of everything I was wrong about in 2025, he was up there towards the top. Eli also kind of defended me when I said that and said, are we really going to be surprised, though, if he's benched midway through the season? And I agreed with him. But for now, I have to take it on the chin. I was wrong about Tyler Shuck.
Same.
For now. We'll see what happens. The New England Patriots are on the clock. They picked Will Campbell, short arms Will Campbell. A lot of people talked about him being graded as more of a guard at the next level. Do I have the Patriots?
Sir.
All right. So I thought I did, and you guys have the picks up. I don't, which is by my own volition. I'm going to go probably a little bit off the board here, but I think that, once again, if you look at potential, and this is another player I was very opinionated about last year, and unlike Shuck, I think I was right about Travis Hunter. And what I said last year is he has the chance to be a very, very good wide receiver, especially in the slot. His football IQ is second to none. His ball skills are second to none. But the breakaway speed, I question that he's able to be a true number 1 corner. I also question his ability to be the best wide receiver he can be if he's focused on playing defense. Now here in New England, he's going to play strictly offense. You put him in the slot. We saw what Stephon Diggs could do this year in the slot. You have Travis Hunter there. Diggs is now freed up to be outside with Mac Hollins a little bit more. Travis Hunter and Josh McDaniels offense would be scary. Is he the classic Caucasian mold of the Josh McDaniels offense? No, but from a skill set position, he matches up perfectly. Travis Hunter to New England. And then after he becomes, in this alternate reality, a Pro Bowl wide receiver as a rookie, then we can start to talk about him being in some packages on defense. Maybe. If you have a guy who can put up 100 catches, 1,000 yards, and double-digit touchdowns, I don't understand why we need to be playing him as our 4th cornerback, though. What's the point? So Travis Hunter, he goes number 4 instead of Will Campbell. Eli, you look like you have something to say.
No, I think this is the one where, you have to balance the year and the player. I think Cam Ward was kind of like that. Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck were more of a reaction. I don't hate this pick because you ask a year ago, hey, or you tell somebody, hey, the Pats get Travis Hunter at 4. People are elated, and I think just because the injuries are the issue, obviously, but you can't totally, like we said, just go off of this 1 year. He's still a quality pick. Any team would still trade for him, maybe not like a first rounder, but I think that this is a good pick because he's a freak and he has the potential.
Oh.
Yeah. And the Pats could use him.
Something I've been thinking about, and as we kind of talk through, number 5, Jacksonville's on the clock. Who has Jacksonville?
I do.
You do? So I kind of stall here for Josie.
You're good.
As good as Jacksonville was last year, they were 30 seconds away from beating Buffalo in the wild card round and advancing. And with how wide open the AFC was, they would have had a chance to win the divisional too. Imagine if they would have picked anybody else. And like
That's what's tough about this one with like the Pats. Like Will Campbell isn't the reason that they made the Super Bowl.
Correct.
So that's where it's tough. It's like, could they have gotten better? Or do you just like say, no, I'm going to take Will Campbell because they made the Super
And
Bowl?
also, I'm not out on Will Campbell. I think that he could be a very
I
good
think
player.
he's still going in the top 18,
Yeah.
15.
I
probably.
do think that he's a guard, like I said last year. And then same thing, you're not going to really see a guard this early. The earliest guard I've ever seen is Quentin Nelson.
So 11?
Nelson was 5 or 6, I think.
Oh, was he?
But that was like ridiculous, and that's a Hall of Fame guard.
And
He's
Notre
also
Dame, which Notre Dame's known for pushing out guards.
he's also not even the best guard available. Gray Zabel, the other guy, he's probably the best lineman in this class. So if we were going to go offensive lineman, it would have been Zabel. Ted McMillan won Rookie of the Year, but Travis Hunter, I think, as a scheme fit, him and Josh McDaniels would just do numbers.
Yeah.
So number 5, Jacksonville, Josie. Originally, this was a trade. Jacksonville moved up for Travis Hunter. Cleveland moved back and drafted Mason Graham, which Naples had the most obscure reaction to of all time. So, Josie, let's hear it.
Yeah, so Jacksonville obviously traded it to number 2 and took a skill position player, right? Somebody who is, in this scenario, offense and defense. Obviously, Travis Hunter is not there anymore, so that can't be the pick. I don't think that was the wrong pick. I think some people questioned like how much they gave up in order to move up 3 spots, but I do think I'm going to stick at the skill position slot. One of the things that I noticed from them when they were in the playoff game is like there was no like consistent offensive weapon. Okay? And so like you went out at the trade deadline and you went and got Jacoby Myers because your best receiving threat is Parker Washington. Okay, you have no tight end. You have a Brian Thomas Jr. that took a bit of a step back this year. So I think there's two.
Trent Strange isn't that bad. That was a little mean.
There are 2 options here, okay? The first one is you take a true X wide receiver and you take Ted McMillan. The second option is you get a tight end and you get Colston Loveland, who's proven that he can be a wide receiver 1, and he's a decent enough blocker. He did a pretty good job this year, and what a lot of people criticized about him over Tyler Warren is like, oh, Tyler Warren's a better blocker. Colston Loveland did a great job in the run game this year. So I actually think I'm going to get the multifaceted player here, and I'm going to go Colston Loveland at 5.
Wow. So 5th overall tight end, that would be the second highest, I think, ever.
Pitts.
Yeah, Pitts was 4. So I like it too. I was not super high in Loveland until Chicago picked him in the top 10.
I won $50 because of that.
Yeah, we
60 because 10 from Naples. I think I got 10 from Naples too.
So for those of you that don't know, me and Josie and then Naples too had a bet. Me and Naples thought that Tyler Warren was going to go in the top 10. Josie did not. Obviously, a tight end did go in the top 10, but it was Loveland instead. I like it. Strange, I think, is a starting tight end, but he's not healthy. That's a constant issue. And then who cares? Have 2 tight ends out there. Like you said,
tight end is becoming so popular in the NFL.
and they're both athletic enough where you can split them out
Colston
wide.
could play
yeah.
receiver basically.
Yeah, you can split him out wide. You can do like he's so versatile. I think not saying he could have gone higher than that, but like I don't think it's a bad spot for him at all.
No, I don't think so either. And same thing in this kind of alternate reality, like Eli said, trying to balance off overreactions from just their rookie year, but also giving guys credit. The Jacksonville Jaguars in this one-off trade, Colston Loveland versus Travis Hunter, they're going to be even better than what they were, and they were one of the best teams in the
And you
NFL.
still have your first round pick next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, which to be fair is in what 24, right? They pick at 24.
Still, it was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I'm not a trading up guy. If you're trading up, you better think that you have a Hall of Fame player.
Franchise quarterback.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Number 6, the Raiders would go Ashton Genty.
It's you, by the way.
They are? All right.
Well, you have 2 back-to-back picks, Raiders, Jets.
Raiders and Jets. Okay. So, Vegas is interesting. Do you go quarterback? Geno was not good.
Can you pick it?
Well, Shador was talked about to Vegas a lot. And there's a clear need. I like Geno. That clearly he's not the option. I am not a Shador hater. Shador going at 6 is ludicrous. Though.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
It's like, are we really going
I was
down
scaring
this
Eli.
path? Pro Bowler.
This is a team. It's kind of fun because they need everything. There's not truly like they have two cornerstone players, Max Crosby and Brock Bowers.
Well, Michael Mayer, man.
Yeah. Because of that, I'm tempted to go best player available.
Ashton Jeanty would be best player available.
To me, the best player available is the guy who should have won Offensive Rookie of the Year. He didn't because his position will never win it. But it's Gray Zabel. The flexibility, he can play tackle if needed, but he graded out as one of the best guards in football this year. You have him, Jackson Powers Johnson is also kind of that center guard flexibility. Whoever is going to be the guy, and I get it, it's not super flashy, but I'm not, like, Ted McMillan is probably the next guy up that would have been in consideration. How much better do the Raiders get with anybody on the board? I don't think very much. And exactly, if we were doing trades, would be the prime example for that, especially somebody trading up for a Tet. Get Gray Zabel in there, though. Let's start to protect whoever the franchise quarterback is going to be. Let's say they still finish as the worst team in football and have the number 1 overall pick. Mendoza has some more protection now. So I'm going to go Gray Zabel, which then leads to the Jets. And then any comments on Zabel before I just kind of brush past you guys?
No, I mean, he was a good guard for the
It's picking
Super
a
Bowl
lineman.
champion.
Yeah.
He's a Super Bowl champion already.
No.
I get that he's a guard, but he's the best lineman in this draft, so why not take him at 6?
And the Raiders are far away, like you said, so.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned his name, but I think Tet's a good pick though too. So it's like, but again, you don't have somebody to get him the ball, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, so now the Jets are on the clock. They would end up doing Armand Membu, I forget how to say it. He did well as a rookie. He actually did really well against T.J. Watt week 1. This is another team. They're just not good. I think they need a quarterback, so I think you can copy and paste everything I said about Shador. In terms of household names, they have more, but does Sauce Gardner end up getting traded in this alternate universe? You do have Garrett Wilson. You know what? Justin Fields, I'm not a Justin Fields guy. We're giving him no excuses because it's always something. It's always the offensive line. It's the coaching staff. It's the weapons. There's only so much we can do. Let's give him the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's give him Tet McMillan. You have Breece Hall, Tet McMillan, Mason Taylor, if he ends up getting drafted there again, because Tyler Warren technically could be an option here too, or Fannin. But you have McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. Do something. Let's see. Let's see what you got. So we're gonna go Ted McMillan. Once again, though, this is another team where there's weaknesses all over the board, especially if they were to end up trading Sauce like they did in the real world.
Yeah, I mean, I think Offensive Rookie of the Year doesn't usually fall to the 7th overall pick.
No.
So I think that this is a really good pick. I don't think it helps the Jets this year, but that's not necessarily the point of a redraft. It's for the long term.
Similar to the Raiders.
Right.
There are definitely players on the board that could help the Jets. Like the Raiders, truly, I don't know if there's one player you could draft where I'm like, yeah, the Raiders are going to be in a better spot.
Especially in this draft.
Yeah.
Ashton Jeanty.
Like maybe a Cam Ward just for excitement.
Yeah.
Like the Raiders, you're really working with nothing. The Jets have some pieces. I'm also just not an Aaron Glenn guy, so I kind of similar to Eli. It's not exactly how I would build a roster, but all right, for all you Justin Fields people, let's see it. He has 2 number 1 wide receivers, a top 10 back. Let's see it. Carolina, they're punching the air right now. They had a chance to get the Offensive Rookie of the Year, still at the 8th overall pick. He's off the board. Who has Carolina?
I do. Jets stole Panthers pick. Panthers are going to steal the Jets pick. We just talked about him in Membu. I think the Panthers, a take that I kind of have is the Panthers are going to be set back because they were okay this year. They're going to lie to themselves and say, we're in an okay spot.
They're going to re-sign Bryce Young, which is not the right move.
I'm not as much of a Bryce Young hater, but I agree. I think that Tet breathed life into their offense, which is huge. But this is a pick where, again, it's not really... They're going to be worse this year with Membu than Tet. but Ted's taken, so they have to do something. I don't think they should just chase a wide out just to chase a wide out. Build for the future, get a tackle. So I'm going to go with Membu here.
Yeah, and you have one of the highest paid interior 3 in the NFL when it comes to linemen. So, like, you need the tackles, who are the higher paid of all those players, to be on rookie contracts. So, like, I like it. I think it's a good pick. Saints. So, obviously, Tyler Shuck's gone. Cam Ward's gone. Jackson Dart's gone. Of the three of us, I'm probably the lowest on Shedeur, but he's not making it to the second round.
You think you're lower than Eli?
I might. Dude's garbage.
I was gonna say, I think you might be higher than Eli.
I don't know.
Think about how low Eli is on any quarterback, and then multiply it by 2.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot.
Might be a
there's-
tie.
Yeah. There's also a lot of buzz this year around Jeremiah Love to the Saints, but they also already have a quarterback now with Tyler Shuck. So it's like, I do think that the pick here is probably Shedeur. So I'm not going to think about it too much, and I'm just going to go Shedeur Sanders and have... I actually vaguely remember there being some buzz around Shedeur to the Saints at 9 last year, too. Because like, oh, if he makes it past 9, then he's going 21 to the Steelers. Like,
So I'm not saying you're right or wrong. And if we do 2 rounds, I think that we're going to see other names come off. But obviously, 4 quarterbacks in the top 10 is a lot, especially for a quarterback draft class that's considered weak. You're taking Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders over Quinn Ewers, the little that we saw from Quinn Ewers last year?
I mean, over Quinn Ewers, yeah. I mean, he
Yeah.
only played a
Okay,
little bit.
like I said, over Dylan Gabriel,
Yeah.
I would agree with. Will Howard, I was being facetious earlier, but it wouldn't be unheard of for you to do some bull crap like that.
I mean, he just needs a chance to start. That's
Okay,
all.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't blowing past.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
So 4 quarterbacks,
I think their biggest need is quarterback, and I'm going to take it.
4 QBs go in the top 9. Yeah, we'll see. We'd see what happens. Like I said, I like Shedeur. I'm neutral on Shedeur. I don't know. He's become so controversial where if you say you like him, it's literally political. Like,
You just sound like Mel Kiper.
if you like Shedeur, then that's an issue. If you dislike Shedeur, that's also an issue. He's truly become a political conversation. You're either too far right or too far left. So Saints, they grab their quarterback of the future. 4 quarterbacks go in the top 9. I did not see that coming. That's fun. Chicago's on the clock. They originally drafted Colson Loveland. He went 5 picks earlier to Jacksonville. Who is Chicago?
I do. There's someone I was flirting with. If I was corrupt, I wouldn't pick the guy who I'm picking now because I want him to go to a team I have later.
Nice. Josie, give me that $50.
And that is Tyler Warren here. I think that he doesn't fit as well as Colson does in that offense. But at the same time, if Ben Johnson's thing is, hey, Caleb, get the ball out quick. We're just going for high percentage. I need you to have close to a 70% completion percentage. You just got to put the ball in dude's chest. I think that I think Tyler Warren's a guy that helps with that and a bunch of short routes. He can go up for some post routes and moss some dudes. So going into it, I was really mad when Colson got drafted above Tyler Warren originally. It worked out so far for the Bears and
the Colts.
Right. Yeah, and I would take, and that's where I'm like, Tyler Warren to the Colts is just such a fit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with Tyler Warren here so that they can stick with their position. I don't think, again, he has as good of a year as Colson has with them, but he probably is more consistent throughout the year. I know Colson really shot up at the end. Tyler's probably more consistent throughout the year, but doesn't have that peak that Colson does, and maybe doesn't end up being their wide receiver 1 like Colson does.
Yeah,
They
so
kind of swapped halfway through the season. Where
Yeah.
Tyler Warren at the beginning of the season was just like, oh man, this guy's the future. Not saying he isn't anymore, but like,
yeah,
and
Like
then
this
at the end of the
dude
season,
is.
it's like, wow,
He's
Colson
first
Loveland
team
is wide
All-Pro,
receiver
yeah.
1 in a Ben Johnson offense.
So Eli, you're right. From the standpoint, Colson Loveland is more like Sam Laporta, I would say. But I would say the tight end before Sam Laporta, TJ Hawkinson, is more like Tyler Warren. So I still think that that's a pretty good fit. It's interesting because, once again, going back to the reaction versus our preconceived notions from last year. The 2 unanimous top tight ends are off the board in the top 10, which is crazy. The tight end that had the best season, probably with the least around him, and Harold Fannin is still on the board. Harold Fannin did not get as good of quarterback play as Tyler Warren and Loveland, and he didn't have the weapons around him that the other 2 guys did. So that's interesting. I still would lean Loveland and Warren over Fannin, as good as Fannin is. San Francisco, they're on the board. Originally, they drafted Mikael Williams, an edge rusher, which getting an edge rusher wouldn't be a bad idea. They lost Nick Bosa for the year. Bryce Huff wasn't super productive. With that said, something tells me Mikael's not going to be the pick. San Fran on the clock. It's me. Mikael is not going to be the pick for sure. Let me pull up the depth chart. And as I kind of just stalling by time, San Fran was interesting because I truly think Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh were candidates for assistant and coach of the year. The fact that they lost everything. They lost their all-pro linebacker. They lost their defensive player of the year edge rusher. They lost their wide receiver to whatever he was doing. George Kittle missed time. They lost their franchise quarterback. And they still found a way to win games. And eventually they ran out of gas.
I can stall for you a little bit longer.
Okay,
Why
go
in the
for it.
world are they? What is up with this stupid drill that
Yeah,
these D linemen are doing? They're running fade routes.
Keep going. Explain it to it.
So they're coming up, right, breaking down in front of some guy, like they're kind of edge rushing, not really, and then they're going on like a fade route and they're catching a ball over the shoulder. Like what in the why?
Flats, man.
They're literally running just a fade route over the shoulder,
I don't know. I think
and then just slip it. Oh gosh, dude just pulled a hammy.
Cassius Sowell.
Oh,
That's
and
a big name, too.
Yeah, that's a first
That's a-
round.
Yeah.
Heard it
We
here,
just
heard it here
react,
first. I don't get. All right, there you go. Stupid drill. We said it even before the dude. Like,
Oh
what is
my
going
gosh.
on?
2 for 2.
Stop doing this.
Slip and
What
slide.
are they learning?
What is wrong with that
Marvin
turf?
Jones.
They're not gonna be guarding anybody anyway, other than like that's a bad throw.
All right,
This
I'm
is
good
all right.
now.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you're good.
If you're
So
ready.
I'm gonna go defense here. There were 2 names that stood out. I think that
That was
it's
good timing.
2 of
Yeah, we
these.
talked about it right when the
Yeah.
pulled hammy and then the slip.
2 of the better players, I think, in the draft still available. I'm going to go the one that's a little bit more of a need, and then also because you're stealing him from the division rival. We talked about him a lot at the beginning. Nick Amanawore in this Robert Saleh defense.
Well,
and-
for 1 year.
Yeah,
Rob Saleh
yeah,
gets hired away.
Yeah. And same thing, like San Francisco, as good as they were, and it's hard kind of playing with history and being like, all right, because it's not truly a 1-for-1 trade, but Nick Amanawore on the Niners instead of Mikael Williams, that would be pretty good. If James Pierce wasn't in trouble, this would have been an awesome spot. Him and Nick Bosa coming off the edge, that would have been even better, but can't go Pierce. The other name I thought about here was the defensive rookie of the year, Schlesinger. Obviously, off-ball linebacker's not a super valuable position compared to others, so 11th overall is a little bit high. But, I mean, him and Fred Warner next to each other, I think it would be a pretty good 1-2 punch, especially losing Dre Greenlaw. So, San Francisco, in this duo round, they're not going to go Mikael Williams. One of the first times in a while where the player who was selected isn't going to be the one here because, not because he was already taken. So, San Francisco, Nick Amanawore.
Yeah, another Super Bowl winner, obviously. Great year. And I think just one of the better ones available. And like you said, gets to play a year under Saleh, and I think the Niners are better for it. Yeah, I think it's a good pick.
Dallas is on the clock. They drafted guard Tyler Booker. He actually did pretty well as a rookie, but let's see if we will stick on offensive line. Josie?
Eli has the next 3 is Cowboys, Dolphins, Colts.
So you mentioned Schlesinger at 11 and being a little high. I'm going to go with him 12 here for Dallas. I don't know if it's that Sean Lee look that he has.
I was going to say, I'm glad I did that because that is a perfect fit.
Yeah,
Well, 'cause
it's just like makes
He
too much
looks
sense
like a
in my
cowboy.
mind.
He looks like
like
a
Tyler
and
Warren as a
Overshown
full.
is out for, he missed 6 weeks to start the season. So, yeah, that's a good pick.
You end
Yeah.
up bringing in Logan Wilson kind of as a desperation attempt.
And then
I
they
just
don't need
think
Sonny Styles this year. It's perfect.
It's perfect
Falls
for
to
this year.
Pittsburgh. There we go.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, the defensive rookie of the year, runaway. partly because maybe the Browns just suck so much and he was a tackle merchant. But thanks Josie for the spelling correction.
It's such a weird name. It's
But yeah, I'm gonna go off ball linebacker here again. It's pretty early, but with the redraft and you get that peek ahead, I think the Cowboys are going with Carson. Dolphins. So originally they went with Kenneth Grant. This is another team that I think is so far away, like what we mentioned with the Raiders and maybe even the Panthers. I think that the Dolphins need help on the interior, up front, both on offense and defense. So I'm gonna stick with the position here. Actually, dude didn't have the best year, but there's a reason he got picked 5th overall by the Browns. I'm gonna go with Mason Graham here. Again, not the best year, but the Dolphins need help up front. That's why they went D tackle last year. So I'm just gonna get a better guy that's available here. Same team as Kenneth Grant in college. So I'm gonna go with Mason Graham here.
Yeah, played better than the half sack on the box score would suggest.
And then keep rattling it off. I have the Colts next. I'm going to cheat a little bit here as well. I mentioned that I really wanted to go Tyler Warren here and not take him for the Bears. We had that run on quarterbacks. There's no way 3 tight ends have ever gone in the first 15 picks, right? Like, no chance.
nah. There's no.
Well,
Right?
it's happening now. 2025 redraft. I'm going to go with Harold Fannin Jr. Again, he did a lot with a little. So the Bears, because Colston was stolen from them, stole Tyler Warren from the Colts. Now the Colts are going to stick with tight end because it did work out for them. Daniel Jones had a very good year, especially for Daniel Jones. And I think part of that is because he has a tight end safety blanket. So let's give him another tight end safety blanket in Harold Fannin Jr.
Nice.
Hayden Falcons.
Yeah, so Falcons originally went Jalen Walker, who wasn't bad as a rookie. He was probably like the 4th best rookie on that defense alone, which once again isn't really anything about him. It's how good the Falcons drafted, despite that Terry Fontenot was fired. James Pierce, once again, would be a perfect fit here, but does he play past his rookie season? We don't know, so can't really do that. Quarterback, there are some intriguing options at quarterback. I do not like Michael Penix, but we can't go in that direction. Wide receiver is interesting. Do we go Emeka Ibuka, steal him from Tampa Bay? Back-to-back picks for me, stealing from a division rival. Could do that. Offensive line, the team's actually pretty set. I am going to stay on the defensive side of the football, though, and I'm going to actually... And Josie, I'm going to save your guy for now. We both know who I'm talking about. We're going to go with the guy that I preferred in the draft. We're going to go Xavier Watts. They ended up getting him in the 3rd round, and he looked like the first-round talent that he should have been. So Xavier Watts, he's the pick here.
Yeah, that's good.
Cardinals are on the clock. Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle, the troublemaker, was the pick. Something tells me he's not going to be the guy.
Yeah. So I don't think that was a bad pick, personally. I think that his first game that he played, he came in and he immediately made disruptions alongside Calais Campbell there. So I do think that Walter Nolan's ceiling is still really high, but the character questions are obviously real. I mean, Kenneth Grant's still on the board. That's not a bad pick. Derek Harmon is still on the board, who, again, dealt with some injuries this year, but his ceiling is really high. I actually think the fact that the board fell the way it did, I think I'd be dumb not to make this pick, and that's to take Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle out of Texas, who went number 9 to the Saints. I think that his ceiling is incredibly high. He was one of the, in my mind,
compared
one
to
of the best
Trent
tackles.
Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, like in the draft, like if you remember this, when we were talking about our draft sleepers and we put them out there, he was one of my draft sleepers because I saw some mocks have him going 32 to the Chiefs. I'm like, this guy is a top 10 pick. Like his ceiling is so high, and you still have Paris Johnson Jr. And so it's like you have both sides of your line shored up for the next 10 years. Like what? I think the Cardinals will absolutely run to the podium with this pick.
Nice. So the first half of the redraft is complete. Cincinnati is on the clock at 17. They would end up drafting Shamar Stewart. Obviously, there was some contract negotiations that stalled his rookie season, pretty much stopped it from beginning at all. Cincinnati on the clock. Who has them? Eli. Who is Cincinnati going this time around?
So usually whenever Cincinnati picks anything or makes any roster move, I'm just like, why are you not mustering up your offensive line? Like that's been the joke for the past 5 years maybe now.
Bring another LSU boy.
So I'm thinking maybe go line, but I'm gonna stick with edge here again. I think Abdul. I think he's.
It is crazy that he fell this far.
We talked about him being a Micah Parsons merchant. I don't disagree with that. I think he benefited a ton from being compared to Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons or no Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter is good enough to go here by far. I think he's still a top 10 pick. Maybe 3 was a reach.
And taking him to the Saints at 9.
And you get him opposite Trey for a year.
I forgot he was there.
I did too.
You get him opposite Trey for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that musters. Maybe you get something out of Trey now because it might not work out anyway. So I'm gonna go with Abdul Carter here.
Yeah, great pick, and he's him and Trey Hendrickson. Let's say that Cincinnati does it right and pays Trey Hendrickson. Those two coming off the edge. That's one of, if not the top duo.
Crazy to say that Abdul Carter's the steal of the draft, but we're selecting him at that.
Which once again, I'm not really a huge Abdul Carter guy, but from just an athletic perspective, freak of nature, great pick, Eli. Now I'm gonna scroll back up and make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Seattle's on the board. I believe I have Seattle. They're punching the air right now because their top 2 picks are already gone, and we're barely halfway through the first. I think it's also kind of ironic considering I think I picked both Gray Zabel and Nick Amanawore, so I got Seattle into this mess. Let me scroll through here. There are a few different options, and it's funny because I'm not a huge Sam Darnold guy, but he showed that he could get it done, so you can't go there. When you look at offensive line, right now my gut's saying Seattle fans, if they listen to the podcast, are probably going to be mad at me. Will Campbell makes sense, which is hilarious considering Seattle loses both of their stud rookies, and they're going to get the rookie on the other side of the Super Bowl that was probably the worst player in the game. I don't want to say lost the Super Bowl, but was the worst player in the game. I'm going to scroll through here and make sure I'm not missing anything else that stands out. The defense was pretty good. You don't have Nick Amanawore. We're not going to go Will Campbell. We're going to go Malachi Starks, and this was the guy that I was referring to with Josie earlier. Josie's a huge Starks guy and was definitely hoping the Steelers were going to draft him. I did think about Ibuka here, just because him and Smith and Jigba, obviously there's the Ohio State connection. Seattle ended up making a trade for Shaheed. He wasn't a full-time starter by any means, but he made the splash plays. If you bring in Ibuka, Cooper Kupp kind of slides into that reserve role right away, and you don't need to bring in a Shaheed. But let's try and get Seattle the Super Bowl like they won in real life, and I think Malachi Starks does a better job of that. So Starks is the guy. And that leads us to Tampa Bay. They got to be super happy. Ibuka's sitting there right now for them to take again. I was kind of hoping he was going to fall to our Pittsburgh Steelers, but I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's really 2 names. So if Ibuka fell to this spot, he was going to be my obviously easy pick. I think that he's a great fit there. I think that he is the future there. But I also know that Tampa Bay's secondary was extremely bad this year, and they took Ben Morris in the second. Right, second? That sounds right. Yeah, they took Ben Morris in the second. I mean, the number 1 corner from this draft that was taken is Jahdae Barron. Jahdae Barron is still here. The pick right before the Broncos go. And spoiler alert, that's probably not who I'm taking with the Broncos pick, because I also have the Broncos pick right next. So, I'm all of that words that I just spit out there just to take Emeka Egbuka. Like, I am gonna take Egbuka.
You got to.
I have to. Like, it's a great pick, and he won't make it 3 more picks if I don't take him.
No way.
So,
yeah.
But.
Wow. So Buka, which do you guys remember it? Buka was like the runaway offensive rookie of the year for like the first like
So good.
third of a
When
season.
Baker was the MVP. too.
Yeah,
Multiple games with multiple receiving touchdowns in them, just like really, I mean, a revelation. And then he got injured, and like he wasn't he wasn't the same the rest of the season. But,
Denver on the clock, like Josie said, Jahdae Barron was the original pick.
so if you remember, leading up to this point, there was a lot of hype around Colston Loveland to the Broncos, which obviously isn't going to happen in this redraft. And then there was also a lot of hype around Marion Hampton going to the Broncos. I think that if it fell this way, the Broncos would, again, run to the podium and take Ashton Genty without even a second thought about it. I think Ashton Genty to the Broncos makes a ton of sense here. So
It's a good steal.
Kind of, so, and I was waiting to say it. Josie said that you said what you could see up to 5 running backs going in the first in the
still
redraft.
could. I mean, there's,
Yeah,
again, there's
but they still could. But
We
weeks here, dude.
probably would have had a couple by now.
it was funny. We'll see if a run starts. 21, the Steelers, they drafted Derek Harmon. Not a bad pick. He has played well when he's on the field. He missed some time. Developed as a pass rusher. Still leaves a little bit on the table there. One, for entertainment's sake, it's not going to be Derek Harmon. 2, I also don't know if he's the best guy here. Getting Ibuka would have been awesome. Getting one of the safeties, Xavier Watts or Malachi Starks, would have been awesome. Me and Josie, we both like all those guys, so they were off the board. Travion Henderson is the other guy that I was super high on. He was my running back 1. I was very outspoken about that. I liked him more than Genty. Do I think that would be a bad pick here? No. But also, Jalen Warren had almost 1,000 yards, and Kenneth Gainwell was team MVP. This is a Pittsburgh roster that's not great. It's not. They need some more blue-collar guys. Could we go tackle? Broderick Jones is not good. And there is a tackle on the board that I really like. And I'm between 2 guys. I'm between Josh Simmons, who, if we're building a roster, I would probably go. I think that he is a top 10, borderline top 5 talent from this
He
draft.
fits their scheme of taking injury-prone players.
Yeah.
Too, so.
And he's an Ohio State guy, and the Steelers love their Ohio State guys. The other guy is another guy that, due to injury concerns, fell, and that's Jahad Campbell. Patrick Queen has not been up to snuff 2 years into his contract. Peyton Wilson has yet to secure a full-time spot. With that said, I really want just a superstar offensive line like the Steelers had in the mid-2010s. I'm going to go Josh Simmons here. And Broderick Jones, we're going to see if he can push inside to guard to compete with, say, Malu or McCormick. But Josh Simmons is the pick. I think talent-wise, similar to that of Abdul Carter, just too talented not to pick here. So the Chargers, they originally picked Omarion Hampton, another running back. He is still available. Who has the Chargers?
I do.
Josie, where are you going? Do you continue your run?
Yeah, this guy. So I will say this: I don't think Omarion Hampton is a bad pick. I do think it's a good pick. He dealt with some injuries this year. I still think that he's the future of that position for the Chargers specifically. Obviously, you've also got Quinshon Judkins. If you want to talk about running backs, he had 5 games with multiple touchdowns in it this season. Like, just until his injury at the end of the season, broken ankle.
Yeah, something like that.
Something, yeah. So, like, I mean, he looked really good leading up to the end of the season. But nobody, I don't think anybody in the entire world would argue with this. The Chargers' biggest need is O-line. Obviously, I'm not going to take a tackle here because you have Joe Alt and you have not
Slater.
Rashawn Slater. Thank you. Obviously, you have the gift of now we know that Bozeman's not going to be back. But I don't know that there's necessarily a center that I'm going to take here. But you can finagle things around, and like the transition from guard to center doesn't seem to be too difficult for a lot of these guys. Obviously, Gray Zabel is gone.
Will Campbell is there.
Will Campbell is there.
Oh, you didn't get him, huh?
No.
So there's
And then
Will
you
Cam-
teased it a little bit with Cincinnati, but yeah.
Yeah, and I do think that the nice thing about Will Campbell here is that he can play tackle in a pinch. So, like, if you need to push him out there because Joe Alt misses a game, or you need to push him out there because Slater misses a game, he can be versatile in doing that. And so I do think that Will Campbell gives you a nice little versatility that you will, at this point, history tells you, will definitely need at some point.
Hayden, you took Josh Simmons, you said, right?
Yeah. I love the pick there, and he just feels like a Chargers guy. Maybe not a Chargers guy,
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh guy.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to say Jim Harbaugh.
yeah. So Green Bay's on the board. They drafted their first wide receiver since like 2002 in the first round.
Yeah, it
Matthew
didn't work.
Golden did not have great results. He scored 1 touchdown, and it was in the wild card round. So, who is Green Bay?
I do, and so this is where, again, I like to keep it kind of similar with positions. Like, hey, if they drafted this position, then they probably need it, especially in the first round. However, I think Matthew Golden not having a great year and the Packers having a good year kind of shows that they didn't necessarily need to draft a first round. So I thought about Luther Burden here if I was going to stick with receiver. But again, I don't really want to stick with receiver because I don't think the Packers really need one. And they didn't this year, at least. Maybe they could get one
Romeo
now.
Dobbs took a big step up this year.
Right. Like, they were a very good team without
Christian Watson.
a good first-round receiver. So I'm not going to go Luther here. I'm going to strengthen the O-line a bit more. A guy that's fallen a little bit. I've seen him in some redrafts a bit higher, and some not even in the first round. But I'm going to go with Tyler Booker here. That was originally drafted by Dallas at 12. Again, I don't think the Packers, I think this would be a good trade down spot for them in a redraft because, again, they didn't need Matthew Golden. So I'm going to go with Tyler Booker here.
Yeah, I mean, you
Great
can look
value.
ahead to this offseason. It's like they're going to lose their left tackle and Elton Jenkins. And so it's like you need somebody to fill in those spots. So
I would have loved if I would love a team that needs a running back right now, but obviously
It's also
they
going to be
don't, so-
interesting in this alternate universe. Does Green Bay grab Micah Parsons still? So,
Yeah.
but Minnesota, they drafted Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State.
This is you here.
I have Minnesota. So, J.J. McCarthy, it did not work out in year one. I think me and Josie are like average on J.J. We're not super high, but we're not low. Or are you low?
I'm kind of low.
Okay.
I feel like you guys are pretty.
You're
high,
low, but you're
pretty
not low like Naples and
I'm high.
You
Naples
guys
and
have
Eli
been-
are low.
I'm high.
You guys have been low from the
KOC's.
start, to be fair. Which
I'm
is
high,
good.
yeah, and I'm high on KOC's system. I think it's very user friendly for quarterbacks. So
So if you screw it up, then you're really bad.
yeah, like I don't think he could possibly have made it to be a first round pick and be as bad as he's looked so far, especially in KOC's quarterback friendly system. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to go. There's a few different ways. I am tempted to go running back here just because Jordan Mason was good but not great. Aaron Jones missed some time. There's not a wide receiver that sticks out. You could go offensive lineman still. The defense is good, but I think it's good more because of Brian Flores, not because of the personnel. I'm going to add a super talented guy. I'm going to add Jahad Campbell. I talked about him with the Steelers. I'm going to put him here. Blake Cashman has played very well. Andrew Van Ginkel is kind of that hybrid of off-ball and edge. Put in Jahad Campbell, a true sideline-to-sideline linebacker. Talent-wise, has more talent than Schlesinger. So you put him there, who knows what happens. Also, Eric Wilson and Cashman aren't slouches, so you don't necessarily have to rush him back from injury. I'm going to bring in Jahad Campbell to Minnesota.
Metellus plays in the box a little bit too, doesn't he?
Yeah, Metellus is awesome. He plays D tackle, truly every position.
Yeah.
The Giants, they would end up drafting.
No,
this
it's
is Houston.
Houston's pick.
Yeah.
It's me. Yeah. So, best defense in the league, and they did not take a defensive player. Obviously, I mean, you look at their offense. Like, yeah, they probably have a needed wide receiver because Tank Dell's going to miss the entire season, and we know that obviously now. We kind of knew that going into the season.
Yeah.
For being honest. There's
Also, do you draft the two Iowa State wide receivers later?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's also.
Obviously, there's some questions about like their O-line and just like from a consistency standpoint, but their biggest question, without a doubt, and the reason why CJ has so many questions on his career and his stuff this year, a lack of running game. And I'm not just doing this because of what I said about running backs. They desperately need a running back. If we know now that Joe Mixon is going to miss the entire season, they would have gone about their draft differently. They would have taken a running back in this draft before Woody Marks in the 7th or whatever it was.
I think it was third, but
Whatever it was. Like, they would have taken it before that. Trayvon Henderson,
Thank God.
Quinshon Judkins are both on the board.
okay, come on. Come on.
Oh, Marion Hampton's still on the board.
Kim Scudaboo's still on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Caleb Johnson.
Pick Travion Henderson. Let's go.
It's Travion
Thank God.
It is. I
Just
did that
save
just
the
to mess
Steelers.
with Hayden.
Just save the Steelers from that embarrassment of
Yeah. But yes,
Johnson.
I say all of that to actually mess with Hayden, to be honest with you, throwing all those names out there. I think the only two options here are Quinton Judkins, Travion Henderson. And I think that Travion Henderson probably has a higher ceiling, even though Judkins had a better rookie season. So, and maybe they'll actually give him the ball.
Did he?
Yes. Travion Henderson got benched for the second half of the season for no reason whatsoever.
He was benched in the first half of the season. Get it
And
right.
he had like a 3-game stretch in the middle of the season.
Yeah, and those
when-
3-game stretches were like 200 yards and 3 total touchdowns.
When Ramondre Stevenson got hurt and I got rebenched.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, real quick. What's this white guy gonna run 40 linebacker?
Oh no, this guy's like super athletic. I think.
You want to go
Over under 4.44.
Oh, over
4-5-1. 4-5-1.
What are you on?
low 4.5. This is Jake Galladay. Is that what it says?
Galladay.
Galladay.
From Cincinnati.
I think I actually heard there's some Cincinnati white linebacker, so I'm assuming it's him.
4-5-1.
That's pretty
4-5-1. 4-5-1.
Oh,
Dude,
Yikes, never
4-6-0.
mind. Yikes.
it's not that
That's
bad.
unofficial, guys. That's
That's
unofficial.
not great.
All right.
4.6. Not terrible.
We got D linemen running 4.5s. Linebackers
Like
like running 4.6.
the cream of the crop. Oh, just look at him. He's gonna be a stud. He
You
looks
got
like,
me excited when you said. I thought he was about to like flash.
no.
Like
Another one,
flash
another
like
white guy.
Chris Jones.
Well, it's
Yeah,
off ball
Yes,
line.
40 yard dash.
Yeah, flash a big old.
All right, Rams are on the clock. I have back-to-back picks here. Rams actually get a pick here. Again, best offense, arguably best offense in the league. Good young defense, specifically front seven. Secondary is a huge need here. Honestly, both corner spots are questionable. Cam Hart, I think is his name.
He's Chargers. Emmanuel Forbes.
Oh yeah.
He did all right this
He
year.
did.
I
He
forget
did.
who the other one is though.
Yeah, but I mean,
Which
there's.
is telling.
I think there's a lot.
You have
of-
Carnell Lake's son on the back end. Who's their
Yeah.
other corner? Good. Keep talking.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
look
you're
it up.
good. I'm gonna take the Jim Thorpe Award winner here. I know he's mostly a slot guy, but I think Jahdae Barron. He ran a 4.28 at the combine. Again, winning the Jim Thorpe is say what you want about it, but at the same time, it's like he's still won the award in college. I think there's a lot of upside there, and he gives you an improvement immediately in your secondary.
Yeah, their
So,
other
Jahdae Barron.
other corners are Kobe Durant, Roger McCreary, and Darius Williams. And then Akilo Witherspoon and Darion Kendrick were hurt. So
All right, we got the Ravens. Malachi Starks was stolen from them, but I do think that there's somebody that's fallen a bit that's nice here. I'm gonna go with Jalen Walker. I think he was 15th for the Falcons originally. I think the Ravens just do a great job of drafting. They're sticking with the Georgia guys in this redraft. Thought about O-line here just because, like, why not? Just to strengthen them and go best available. If the best available is an O-lineman. But I like Jalen Walker here. From what I read, it sounds like the Ravens, or they did record their fewest sacks in 15 seasons in Baltimore with 30. So hopefully this helps a little bit. But nothing too flashy. And that's my last pick for the draft.
Detroit's on the clock.
On the clock. It's me.
Originally drafted Tyleek Williams, which was a little bit of a reach at the time. The nose guard out of Ohio State.
Yeah. I mean, we have obviously had some turnover at O-line that they didn't necessarily predict over the last, season and a half. Obviously, and then, their center not being able to come back because of failing a physical, and then isn't their left tackle considered
Taylor
retirement,
Decker,
or-
he has announced since then that he's back, but
He's
he
back,
was,
that's
yes.
right, yeah. So it's so I'm not going to reach on a lineman here because I do think you still have one of the best lines in the league when fully healthy. I think you have a injury issue on defense consistently, and so you need to try to draft some meat, I think, in the middle. So I think D tackle's the pick here. It's really between two guys. So you could get your Ndamukong Suh and go Walter Nolan here. With character issues, just really a good player, but there are character concerns, as there were with Ndamukong Suh. The other pick is Kenneth
on the sideline.
Kenneth Walker.
Grant.
Kenneth Grant. Thank you.
Not
Kenneth
Super
Grant.
Bowl MVP.
Yeah. Kenneth Grant from Michigan. I think that Dan Campbell is good at managing egos. So I think that Walter Nolan is the correct pick here because I think he's a better player, and I think that Dan Campbell is about as good as anybody in the league right now at straightening out people with character issues because he is a tough-nosed, punch-you-in-the-mouth kind of guy, and I think Walter Nolan is a good pick here. So.
Yeah. The commies are on the clock. This was something that I was right about. I got so much hate for being low on Washington. They were in the semifinals last year. It was not good. I don't think that the roster is nearly as good as what people think. They went Josh Connerly, him and Laramie Tunsil. That was in efforts to strengthen up the offensive line. I actually kind of like that. We're not going to go in that direction, though. We're going to get a weapon because Terry McLaurin, if you guys remember back, is looking for a contract at this point. Your leading tailback is Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson, who is going to be traded. You have Zach Ertz as probably your best target. It's Zach Ertz and Deebo Samuel in 2025. That's not good enough for a team that said that they were Super Bowl contenders. Travion Henderson would have been a perfect pick here. That's who I was really hoping would get him come around last year. Judkins is probably the next running back off the board. Scadaboo obviously had that nice little run. RJ Harvey and O'Marion Hampton are also candidates. I am going to go ahead and grab a playmaker here, though. I'm going to grab Luther Burden. Isaac Tesla, you can also kind of make an argument for, but Luther Burden quietly put up some really good numbers as nowhere close to the first option for Chicago. So he goes to, instead of playing with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels.
Your boy's about to run.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it because it's him, Arvell Reese, Jacob Rodriguez. So there's a few good ones. And then Sonny's right after. So there's a few linebackers. Eli was talking about Kyle Lewis, the Pitt stud, undersized linebacker.
Yeah, not even 6 foot.
Might be more of a box safety, truly, at the next level. But just a
4.55.
beast, All-American type player.
4.5.
I think sub 4.5. He's elite in terms of an athlete. Prove me right. 4.57.
That's good.
Yeah, I still think he's faster. So best linebacker time so far at the time is Caleb Alarms, or I don't even know who that is. 4.47. So Kyle Lewis, not the fastest, but we shall see. We'll check back with Arvell Reese.
All right, back-to-back picks. Bills, Chiefs. So Luther Burden would have been a serious consideration here for the Bills. I think that by the end of the season, when going into wild card, divisional, even at the end of the season, when Brandon Cooks is a legitimate option in your offense, you've got an issue. Brandon Cooks is 33, 34 years old?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. You picked him up at the trade deadline, and he becomes your number one option in the offense.
And it's not close.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so you've got a serious issue. I think Jaden Higgins is probably the pick here. I'm still kind of high on Trey Harris. I think Trey Harris has a high ceiling, but I think that from what we saw in year one, Jaden Higgins is the pick here for sure. So I think...
Can you see Bills Mafia getting down with Tesla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Doesn't he seem like a instant fan favorite?
Yeah. No, definitely is. So,
Philly's on the clock. Jahad Campbell's off the
Chiefs
board.
on the clock.
They swapped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they swapped in this because Chiefs lost the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously you've got a need at future tight end, but I'm not going to reach for somebody like a Terrence Ferguson or
Mason
an
Taylor.
Elijah Arroyo, Mason Taylor. Like, I think that's still too early for any of those guys. And I know Hayden's high on Noah Gray. I think Noah Gray's good. I think he's serviceable. I don't know that he's going to be a top-end tight end. You've got a need at wide receiver, but again, I think that the wide receiver pool in the first-round guys is pretty tapped. I don't think I would ever go Matthew Golden here. Trey Harris, I don't know that it's a scheme fit necessarily there. I think running back is definitely a need. I know there's some buzz going into this draft around Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs.
Be unfair.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, 100%, absolutely. I think between Omarion Hampton and Quinshon Judkins, it's tough because with Omarion Hampton, you have some injury concerns that he had in his first year, and obviously Quinshon Judkins,
Didn't have a ton
had
around him.
he didn't, but he also had that serious injury. So like, if that still plays the exact same way, it's like, I think I'm gonna go Quinshon Judkins here as the pick. I think that he's a guy who can probably do more with less carries, which is kind of what he's gonna get in the Chiefs offense.
I like him on KC. I could
Yeah.
see it being
Mhm.
some sort of personal issue eventually.
Yeah, him and Kareem Hunt. Yeah,
But that's the thing is like you had Marcus Peters there, and he had character issues. But before he left there, he was an All-Pro. Like, he had 8 picks his rookie season.
I think
Yeah,
Judkins
right.
is the best running back, but R.J. Harvey I think would have been the best fit. But I think Judkins
Interesting.
is the best.
Yeah.
Jacob Rodriguez is up.
I'd be surprised if he ran like a
This is not going to be a good time.
sub 4.6.
This is a fan favorite type player, not
I'd
a.
go 4.6, 4.68.
I'm going to go 4.7s. I think it's going to be
He's a
bad.
big dude.
I like him, but
Yeah, me too. He's fun.
once again, this is a fan favorite. The 10-yard split always makes me think it's going to be really. That's a pretty good time. 4.61. Jacob Rodriguez. Of course, Sonny Styles is last teasing us, edging us on.
Cam Scadaboo didn't go.
Cam Scadaboo did not go. Philadelphia is up. Do I have Philly or do you?
You do.
Yes. So Scadaboo does not go. This is similar to what I was saying. At the top of the draft with the Raiders, like just pick best guy available because the team's so bad and nobody's going to make a difference. Philly's roster is so good where who cares if nobody's going to make a difference. Reflecting back, like since it's Philly, quarterback would be kind of funny just because Philly has moved on from a quarterback pretty quickly. Like people forget Jalen Hurts was like a low 50s pick, and Philly was very interested in drafting Shador last year, similar to Baltimore. In fact, Cleveland traded up, if I remember correctly, to get ahead of Philly in the 5th round to because they thought Shador was going to go. Looking back, Mikael Williams is still available. Philly loves collecting edge rushers. We could go in that direction.
Especially from
Georgia.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to go. Did Kenneth Grant, Jalen Walker? We're going to do Jalen Walker. Did Jalen Walker go? I think
Yeah,
so.
I took him.
Yeah, we'll go Mikael Williams then. Once again, the team's so good where you could really go a lot. We aren't going to do the 2nd round. I entertained it for me and Josie, figuring Eli would want to leave, but I think we're going to leave it just at round 1 if that's for you guys. But kind of reflecting back, let's look at the 1st round. First, we'll do what surprised you. I'm going to say the 4 quarterbacks in the top 9.
Yeah.
Which was insane. And then also, I think that if we were to do a 2nd round, it wouldn't be too long until we heard 2 guys' names. Quinn Ewers, who I think, from just what he did last year, proved that he should have been in the 1st round. I think he would have been a 1st rounder a couple years ago. Sonny Styles is about to
I'm
run.
gonna see this one. You can keep talking about
You're
it.
good.
I'm gonna check out.
I think it'll be interesting as we continue to do more of these. It
He
might
jumped
be like
43.5. Sorry,
No,
Sonny
you're
Styles
good.
jumped 43.5 today. That's insane.
But I think that part of it is like when we're close to that draft year, it's more quarterbacks because we don't know how good O linemen are going to be. We like quarterbacks are easier for us to be like that. He had a good
Get
year.
excited about.
Right.
But I would push back. So, like, let's say 2000, not even, we'll do 2011. And 2011's a great draft class, but Tyrod Taylor was not incredible. Ooh.
It was a bad start too. If he runs again, I think he gets in. He started off real slow. I mean, 4.49 is very good.
I mean, yeah, it's 0.02 from the fastest, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, and at 6'4" and jumped 43.5.
Yeah.
Alvin Johnson comparison is crazy.
Just shows.
But
how much the
Tyrod
game
Taylor,
is.
like, if you get into the late 1st round and you have a starting type quarterback, even if that quarterback's not, like, Tyrod Taylor, when we do the 2011 redraft, should get some consideration. He probably won't go just because 2011 was a historic draft class. But if 2011's a lesser draft class, he goes.
Yeah.
But there's also probably guys from way back that it's like a 5th round offensive lineman that was like been around forever.
Maybe. I also so Quinn Ewers would have gone. I also wasn't that far off from taking a flyer on Milroe. Which Milroe's another controversial guy from last year. I didn't want
Super Bowl champion.
True. I didn't want the Steelers to draft him in the first, but talent-wise, I was talking about Cam Ward's arm. I think Jalen Milroe has the best arm in this draft class, and then I think he might be the most mobile draft prospect of all time. He's right up there with Lamar, Vic, Fields. Yeah, Jalen Milroe, I would have taken a flyer on really early in the second. I don't know who I would have had in the second, but both of those quarterbacks I would have been off the board pretty quickly. Same with the running backs that were still on the board, I think.
Yeah. I think the biggest surprise to me was, and this was just oversight, we said it ourselves, like Abdul Carter falling to the Bengals at 17 was, I mean, again, it was just oversight more than anything else. We kind of forgot he was sitting there because he fell out of the top 5. But he definitely should have gone at 9 to the Saints, which would have made Shedeur Sanders available for somebody else if they wanted him. But and then I think 3 tight ends going to the top 15 was pretty crazy. The correct picks, but like it's crazy to think about 3 tight ends going top 15. So
Quirks.
I mean, I don't think I don't know. I was the one that took the first 3 quarterbacks, so I don't love that. But again, as I said, I think it's just like the excitement. It's easier for us to be like, quarterbacks had a good year, team needs a quarterback. I think it's tougher for us to be like, oh, this O lineman had an amazing year. Maybe for the top guys it's easier, but for some of those middle of the pack guys it's a little tougher. And I think some of it's just how it fell too. I think with trades it looks a lot different, especially we talked about a lot of running backs going, and then we waited a little bit for running backs. I think it's just kind of how it fell, but nothing like too crazy surprising in my opinion. But I don't know. I think sophomore slumps are huge. I think that difference between the first year and the second year are interesting, so it'd be cool to keep this and be able to see if we redraft.
Well, I was gonna say, you guys kept track of our picks because we love redrafts and mock drafts, so we're gonna do the same exact thing next year. So it's gonna be interesting to compare. So definitely don't delete it off the drive.
question for you guys: how many players fell back to their original team?
I'm gonna say 3 or 4. Emeka did.
Cam Ward. I'll go 4. No,
Well,
I'll go
original
3.
team or original slot?
Just
Original
team.
team.
Okay, because
I'll go
Xavier Watts went back to the Falcons.
Oh yeah, I mean original, like who drafted in the same spot that they were
Okay,
drafted.
yeah, I was gonna say
alright,
because
then,
like
2 or 3.
It's 2.
Yeah.
It's 2. It's just Cam Ward and
Buka.
Emeka Buka.
Yeah.
So
I
you
think,
want to read through these real quick?
not quite yet. We will in a sec, but one other question, and then want to do something, and then we'll read through 'em. Your favorite pick that you made?
Abdul Carter for me, just the drop and
Penn
that's a
State
good start.
steal, yeah.
I think the Broncos getting Ashton Genty at pick 20 is pretty crazy. So
I liked a couple. I liked Josh Simmons to the Steelers just because if that would have happened on draft night last year, even with Josh Simmons not being nearly as good as I thought he was going to be as a rookie, I would have been stoked. I would have had a Naples level reaction probably. In terms of best scheme fit, I really liked Travis Hunter to New England. I think that is very ideal. I think Vrabel and McDaniels would have gotten a lot out of him. The one thing that I want to do before we recap all 32 picks, I just want to go through the first round and look at the guys who didn't make the cut, who made the cut in real life. Looking at it, Kenneth Grant, did anybody get Kenneth Grant? So
I brought his name up a couple of times, but we didn't ever take him.
good D tackle that went to Miami. Didn't have a bad rookie year, to be honest. Walter Nolan, same thing. Josie, he did go?
I
Okay.
took him to the Lions with pick 30.
Shamar Stewart, who from an athletic perspective, I think is right up there with Abdul Carter, but same thing, going back to what Eli brought up, and he was correct about reaction versus preconceived notion. He just didn't do a ton, so it's hard to really kind of take that leap of faith on him. Derek Harmon, which is a little bit surprising. Similar to,
player.
I would say similar to Grant. Showed flashes in the rookie year, but not super excited. 4.54 for Lewis. That's much better. I like that a lot more. We'll see. Lewis is going to be interesting. Definitely not a day one guy. I think that he should go somewhere in the third, though.
He's off ball, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But kind of, they move him around. You know who my comp would be for him? Metellus. Like, because
Which Metellus is technically a safety. I think he's listed at.
technically a safety, but has played nickel, has played linebacker, played D tackle. Same
He's
thing
got
with
the Jabril Peppers treatment.
yeah, which Lewis is going to be interesting. He's a guy similar, not nearly as talented, but similar to Isaiah Simmons. It's going to be very important to where he ends up, as for most of these guys, because if you have a defensive coach who actually has a vision for him and isn't like, he can play here, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, super talented player. I love him. Arvell Reese is running. We're going to keep on going through. O'Marion Hampton never went, correct?
O'Marion Hampton didn't go,
mentioned,
neither did Matthew Golden or Donovan Jackson. 4 picks in a row.
Yeah.
They did not go in the first round.
Donovan Jackson isn't a surprise. Same thing with Matthew Golden.
Nobody bet on James Pierce, right? Because of the
Correct.
Correct.
I probably would have bet on him in the second just because, like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Would anybody really be surprised if he gets away with, like, a slap on the wrist?
No.
Like, as bad as it is. Josh
league.
Tyleek, Josh Connerly, Maxwell Hairston, which Hairston had his own legal troubles at the beginning of the year.
He did, but he
got
got
cleared,
cleared of
right?
all of it. Yeah, it was something about his girlfriend, domestic violence, maybe.
And Josie, I forget, did you snag one of the Iowa State wide receivers, Higgins
I
or
did.
Noel?
I took Higgins.
Arvell Reese is running here. We'll watch in Arvell Reese's second run,
there you go.
4.47,
Whoa.
so much better.
Wow.
So the linebackers starting to show up in their second run. We'll watch Jacob Rodriguez, and then Josie, if you want to run through the picks, and then we'll close with Sonny Styles' second run.
Heck yeah.
So, see. But good Thursday episode, boys. While we kind of
You want to read through the first half of this?
Yeah. All right, so I
We do,
started.
up to the Cardinals.
Yep, with the three quarterbacks: Cam Ward to Tennessee, Jackson to Cleveland, Tyler Shuck to the Giants. Hayden took Travis Hunter, talked about mainly playing him at receiver. Colson Loveland to Jacksonville, Gray Zabel to the Raiders. Jets take Tep from the Panthers, who then take Mambu from the Jets. Saints go with Shadur. Bears go with Tyler Warren. Niners take the Super Bowl winning safety, Emmanuel Schlesinger to the Cowboys, Mason Graham to the Dolphins. Harold Fannin Jr. replacing Tyler Warren in Indy. And then we got Xavier Watts to the Falcons and Kelvin Banks Jr. to the Cardinals.
And rounding out, you get into the Bengals. The Bengals stole Abdul Carter, the edge rusher out of Penn State. Seahawks got one of my favorite players in this past draft, Malachi Starks, the safety out of Georgia. Bucks stick with their original pick, and they take Emeka Egbuka. The Broncos take Ashton Genty. The Steelers take Josh Simmons. The Chargers take Will Campbell, the guard, out of LSU. The Packers take Tyler Booker. Where did Tyler Booker go to college?
Alabama.
Alabama, that's right. Vikings took Jahad Campbell. Houston Texans ended up with Travion Henderson. The Rams got Jahdae Barron. The Ravens got Jalen Walker. Lions took Walter Nolan. Commanders took Luther Burden III. Bills took Jaden Higgins. The Chiefs took Quinshon Judkins. And the Eagles took Michael Williams. Rounding out the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft.
Sweet.
Perfect. And pretty good timing. Arkansas's linebackers about to run, and then we'll close with Sonny Styles. Stay up to date. Free agency is about to begin, so we'll have all those updates. Me and Josie are each going to be releasing individual mock drafts for the first round. Probably four. We'll do 4 each. And then,
4 mocks each.
yeah, so 8 total between the two of us. And then we'll do the big one right before the draft. Typically that's Sunday before the draft, with the whole entire team. We'll see who all can make it for that one. Who knows? Maybe we try and bring in Christian somehow.
Yeah, I was gonna say we usually bring in a couple guests in that one. I know Hunter's been to the last couple.
Yeah.
Cooper shows up to that typically.
Yeah.
So
Cooper,
Should be
we're
fun.
trying to get back on.
one
Also,
of my favorite things that we do.
Yeah. Oh, it's you know who
And
also
when we
loves it?
figure out the technology.
Yeah.
We haven't
I'm
yet.
always very
0 for
stressed at
2.
the beginning.
0 for 2.
Yeah.
More like a half or two.
I know.
0.5 out of
Or
10.
I would give us one, but half from each.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
So, maybe 0.75 out of 2, but
Yeah.
Somebody's got to Google a how-to on
We get it. It's just
YouTube
like,
Live.
now we're stuck in the one portrait mode.
Yeah.
And now we're,
which is weird. You'd think that it was easier, which I'm sure it is easy. We just don't know it.
Yeah.
But Sonny Styles about to run, and then we'll get out of
He
here.
got a slow start
I
again. He
think
got a
that
slow
was better.
start.
I think that was better.
4.47.
Okay,
So
he tied the combine.
he ties.
best so
He tied
far.
Arvell Reese and the other guy.
Three
So,
players there.
Sweet.
yeah.
Dude, I told like he was listed at running something in the 4.4s.
You see my TikTok about him?
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I was hoping.
liked it.
I almost tagged you in it.
yeah,
But
I was like, I'm glad you're on the train because like I remember in the last podcast you're like, yeah, I don't know anything about him yet, but like
I'm on the
he's gonna
train.
he's a difference maker, dude.
We're not
Like,
gonna
he-
get him though.
I know. You're not gonna. Don't want to say it, dude.
Okay. It's the same thing with Caleb Downs. Like I'm not.
So-
no
Shoulders
chance for
popping.
Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is going in the top 8. I don't care what people say. Caleb Downs is going in the
People
top 8.
said the same thing about Kyle Hamilton.
Okay, but
Safety. The NFL teams don't value safeties. I don't know why, but Xavier Watts, he fell. Brian Branch, he fell. Like teams don't value the safety. So we'll see.
well, he's a former safety,
Yeah, I did
which
see
is
that.
wild.
So 4 individual mock drafts from both me and Josie, 1 team mock draft, and that we might just do 1 round and make it more official because people run out of stuff by the
Yeah.
second. So we might just
Yeah, you got Cooper there like, oh, I'm taking this undrafted guy out of
Yeah.
Arkansas State.
we'll probably just do the first, but we might spruce
Nate
it up
Soldier.
then since
Nate
it is the
Soldier.
first. Yeah. And then he got me on it. I said Nate Soldier, like just out of placebo one time.
Yeah.
On top of that, we're also going to be doing more redrafts. Some on the podcast. I'll be doing individual short form stuff on TikTok for all of them going back to at least 2004. And then me and Josie are going to do some videos, just the 2 of us. We'll see if Eli can hop in on some. All right. Eli, up till 7:36. We're going to let him go to sleep. Yep, he has a big day tomorrow. This has been the Second Short Podcast. We'll see you next time.